Now you just can't leave.
All right, welcome back to the Reverse Mush podcast. Harry Mack here, as always, with my co-host Ross. Been a long day, but joining us, a very special guest, as always, recurring guest, friend of the program, Matt, the SteamRolla Frevola, gearing up for his return to the cage this Saturday, UFC 270 in Anaheim, taking on Gennaro Valdez, little undefeated contender series prospect. Matt, how we feeling, brother? How we doing?
Bro, I'm doing good, man. Just finishing up this fight camp, strong and smart. I was in at law today, just got the last final puke drill with Ray in where we hit pads and we wrestle and we hit pads and we wrestle. It's like a fight simulation. So got through that, crushed it, and ready to head out to Cali on Tuesday.
There you go, man. I mean, I've had the pleasure of watching a few of those puke drills, and they are fucking brutal. Fucking brutal.
Sounds like a drill that would probably just end my life, if we're being honest. I would just call it after that.
Well,
yeah, that's how you know you're in shape. Throughout fight camp, I'm always sparring and I'm making sure I'm getting my puke drills in, and I'm in shape. I'm ready to go.
There you go. I think a puke drill sounds like a good barometer for where you're at physically. But I mean, yeah. So we've talked about it a little bit here and there. But so you had 12 weeks for this training camp, which is I think you said the longest camp that you've had in your professional career. So I guess I just wanted to see, how are you feeling? You feel like that kind of like that extra time in camp really has made a difference in how you feel physically, how prepared you are?
Yeah, I definitely think so. The more notice for me, the better. I need some time to become the SteamRolla from the cream roller,
right? Cream roller to lean roller to SteamRolla.
Yeah, exactly. I got my phases, I got my process, and you gotta trust the process. And having the more notice, I was able to talk with my strength and conditioning guys at Acceleration Sports Training, and we really progressed everything the right way. I was able to get a good strength building phase, and then switch it over to the fast twitch and really, progress everything throughout camp perfectly. And, I got in shape faster. I got my sparring in further out. I got through all my little injuries, further out. Every fight camp, you're always going to have these little injuries, these little bumps and bruises right when you start really training hard. So I got all those out of the way, further out from the fight. And, we're ready to go now.
And it feels like the first time for you and fucking who knows how long now, where you finally have a fight, you have an opponent, knock on wood here, but as long as nothing changes before Saturday, you're going to have the opponent that you had booked, that you've got booked against. How much just more confidence does that give you going into it? Just knowing this is finally who I've been preparing for. I'm not getting a fucking last minute switch where they're going to throw arm in at me.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt the last two camps. My last camp, I found out fight week, when I was heading to the airport, that Frank Camacho got into a car accident. And then the fight before that, I remember it was the day of weigh-ins. I had 2 more pounds to cut, and I find out that Ottman got cut from the UFC.
Potato bag.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't worry about those things. You don't want to. I don't want to stress over what I can't control, and I can't control whatever happens with this COVID bullshit and whatnot. And all I can control is being 100% prepared, which I am. My camp was great. I'm healthy. I'm ready, and that's that's all that matters. All this other stuff, I have no control over. So why worry? We just hope for the best.
Nah, absolutely. And also that 12-week camp, it gives you more time to grow that beard in. Letting that thing go.
Nice.
For real. You got the little Viking going.
I know. I'm about to go out to my spot, OJ's barbershop, and get my final cut tomorrow. Get the little skin fade.
Look good,
and
feel
then
good.
Line up the beard. We'll be good to go.
There you go. And so I don't even want to fucking put it into the universe. And we've seen how game you are. Obviously, I mean, you fight the number 12 ranked lightweight in the world on 24 hours notice. You take that McKinney fight on no notice. But God forbid, there's a fucking act of God. Gennaro somehow doesn't make this fight. Are you at that point still game to kind of fight a short notice replacement, or after the last two, are you kind of like, you know what, I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'll put another great camp in. Like we'll get there for what we prepared for. Like I'm tired of, like handing out favors for the promotion and saving this and doing that. And, I don't know. I guess we just see a lot of guys who don't necessarily get rewarded the way that they should for taking those kind of opportunities.
No, I hear you. No, man, I'm ready to go. I signed a contract that I'm fighting January 22nd. I put in this awesome fight camp. I'm ready to fight. If whatever happens, we'll deal with it the way we deal with the last two times it happened. And, I'll sit down with my coach. I'll sit down with Longo. I'll sit down with Arroyo and we'll talk about it and we'll just make the decision. But, I'm always ready to fight anybody. And that's always kind of what I say. And they kind of tell me what their opinions are. And then we make a decision. So, but either way, I'm ready to go.
There you go, man. Warrior mindset. And I guess just backing up a little, man. I mean, a lot has changed since the last time we had you on the show. You got married, which mazel tov. That's awesome. We love to see someone enjoying married life. Hopefully, you became the transitive PFL lightweight champion of the world. I guess I just wanted to know kind of how has your perspective changed in the last year or so? We've got all this COVID bullshit. You had those short notice fights. What would you say is the biggest difference in just mindset from January 1st, 2021 SteamRolla to right now?
Man, you said it, man. I'm a married man, and I've got a beautiful wife now that I gotta provide for. We want to have a family. And, I could kind of see, like my man points have gone up, I'm a married man. I gotta make my wife happy. I gotta provide for our future family, all that's the big pictures, coming to mind now. So, but it's for the better, it's motivating me. We had a beautiful wedding. We went on an amazing honeymoon and, that all just really motivated me, to go out there and and be successful and really work my ass off and do what I need to do to be able to provide for my family. So it's been good.
There you go, man. And I know that you enjoyed your wedding for a fact because I texted you to say congratulations that day, and you texted me back something about getting sandwiches in the lobby of the hotel, and I was not at your wedding, so I know that you were enjoying yourself and having a good time. But
and I think if I saw correctly, you were getting some sparring rounds in before the wedding also.
Yeah. Well, I had Billy Q was there.
A little punching of the bag going on.
Yeah, Billy Q was there too, and I can't have Billy Q around without punching him in the face. So the morning of the wedding, I got some rounds in with him. Actually,
you gotta stay ready. You gotta stay ready.
Gotta do it.
And I guess talking about Billy Q, what was that experience like cornering the squid at that Fury grappling card?
Oh man, that was sweet. That Fury grappling card was awesome. Like just a great platform for jiu-jitsu and grappling and wrestling. And I think it's just a growing sport, just in the mixed martial arts realm, and keeping all those fighters busy and just giving a good stage for these grapplers. I love it. I'm definitely looking to get on one of those too.
Hell yeah. So whose idea? I'm sorry, Ross.
I was just gonna say, did you think Philly was as scummy as everyone makes it out to be, or it's not that bad here?
No, it's not that bad. I mean, we didn't do too much, but the last time I was in Philly, I did the thing, got a cheesesteak, went to the Rocky statue. I guess that's about it.
That's about it. You got the touristy stuff.
That's Philly for
you. There you go. So whose idea was the Squid Game walkout?
Oh, that was Billy's. He pitched that to me, and I was like, dude, yeah, let's do it. You got to run with it. and he ordered the suits, and yeah, I thought that was pretty epic.
Hell yeah! I mean, you love to see any kind of promotion that lets fighters kind of just exhibit that personality
have fun with it.
Exactly, just have some fun with it.
I love the walkouts.
Hell yeah. But yeah, hopefully we get to see you on one of those Fury grappling cards sooner than later. That would definitely be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I guess speaking of walkouts, you got anything special planned for this weekend?
Just gonna ask.
I mean, I'm gonna be rocking my Venom gear, like 'cause
the best gear on earth, right?
That's right.
yeah, right. Because I mean, the Venom gear is pretty nice. It's definitely like nicer like material or upgrade from the Reebok stuff.
There you go.
But yeah.
I miss the Condom Depot days.
Yeah, right.
I miss the days of like just funny ass ads and like I love watching like KSW and those like European promotions where the guys do temporary tattoos for ads. That rules.
Oh,
I think that's fucking awesome. We should allow that.
Wasn't there a UFC fighter that wore a fake?
Aldo did it.
Oh yeah, it was just Sharpie.
Yeah, Aldo did it like a chess thing for like a soccer team, and I guess like I know that it's like contractually you're not allowed to do that, but I guess it's Jose Aldo. So who's gonna tell him no?
He used the magic marker, so Dana let it ride.
Exactly. So I guess speaking of, you're talking about your coaches. You got Longo and Arroyo. Is that what the corner's looking like this weekend?
Yeah, Longo's gonna be there always, and we got Arroyo there, and then my boy Billy Q. That's the squad, and then of course I got my dad coming out this Tuesday with me. Can't go anywhere without him.
Need the bulldozer.
Then my brother's coming out, my wife's coming out. I got a bunch of buddies coming out, so it's always every fight I have. It's always a great time, win, lose or draw. We go out there. I go out there a fight, and then we drink some beers and have a good time wherever we're at. And this is first time fighting in Cali too, so I'm excited about that. So
yeah, you can do some other extra stuff besides drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
But going into that fight a little. I mean, they're throwing another prospect at you. I know we talked about it, I think last time we had you on, just prospect killer over here. So when you're going into a fight with a guy that no UFC tape on him, he's got a couple finishes on the feet, he's got a lot of stuff on the ground, submissions. Do you go into that with a certain mindset where you're game planning against him, or is you just kind of you're going to fight your fight and hope the results go how you want them to?
I heard as soon as we got this name, I saw 10-0. I was pumped about that. I love fighting undefeated fighters. Another hype train. But then I saw, undefeated Mexican fighter. I'm thinking, he's a Mexican boxer. But I go back and I start watching his fights. I watch his Contender Series fights and a bunch of his past fights in Mexico. And this guy's a new age Mexican MMA fighter.
Yeah,
he's he's got the boxing, but he looks to grapple every fight, and that really excites me. I love mixed martial arts. I love using every aspect of martial arts in that cage, and this guy looks like he does the same. And he's good. He's undefeated, and I remember when I was undefeated. I was undefeated coming off the Contender Series, making my UFC debut. Thinking that my shit don't stink, going in there and just doing everything that so I kind of know his mindset going in there. He's going to do what he's done the last 10 fights, he hasn't faced any competition like me yet.
Right.
And, he's beaten a bunch of guys in Mexico, but, I don't think that competition is as good as me or the guys that I fought. So I'm gonna really test them, and I feel like I can beat him anywhere where this fight goes, and I'm excited to beat him everywhere where this fight goes, and get a big finish.
There you go, man. Yeah, I heard they're thinking about raising those the fucking fight of the night and finish bonuses. That would certainly be a nice way to ring in 2022.
Dude, they need to. It's about time.
For real. For real. It's been 50 grand for what, like 10 plus years now?
Yeah, like forever. So
yeah, come on, Dana. Let's get some inflation adjustment on the bonuses.
No,
never.
Well, that one card they did 75K. Remember, I think
I think Tony
Ferguson was like,
right.
Oh, everything's bigger in Texas, and then they did it to 75K for one fight.
Yeah, and then they just never did it again. And everyone was like, all right, we're cool with that. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean
Awesome.
they're bumping up the pay-per-view for everybody too. Everyone's got to pay more.
Oh man, it's like so tough when it's like everything you read is about how like they're printing money hand over foot, like it's more profitable than ever, and they're still trying to squeeze every last dime out of fans. Like,
yeah,
it's an expensive sport to follow, man.
I know they should say like, yeah, we're gonna bump up the pay-per-view price, but you know the fighters pay, or you know the fighters bonuses are going up this much.
Right. Spread the love. Spread the love.
Yeah,
I would be so here for like I think they do it this way in a couple other countries, but like, dude, let me pay like $200 for the year, and I get Fight Pass and that whole catalog, and then I get every pay-per-view. You know what I mean? And I can watch it all through Fight Pass, like all in one place. Like, just make it simple.
You're just missing like the big part here. Like,
why would they do
that if you could pay $10 a month for Fight Pass, $10 a month for ESPN Plus, and then still buy the pay-per-views?
Yeah, because I'm a little fucking pay pig.
Yep, they got us.
It is what it is.
Got us by the goddamn balls. But right, what are we gonna do? We're just like, it's not my fault that like we have the brain disease that makes us like this sport.
The point is, it's not about us. It's just we're just looking for Frevola to get a nice up in the bonus after he gets the finish.
Exactly.
Nothing crazy.
So I guess let's say we come out Saturday, get that finish, get that bonus. What does the ideal 2022 for the SteamRolla look like from there?
Oh man, I'm gonna come back home. I'm gonna get back to training because we got a lot of fights at Law coming up. You know, it's gonna be a big year. I gotta help out all my buddies who've been helping me out this camp. I've been getting so much sparring in with Delemy. Delemmy's ready to go. Steve Lee's looking to make his pro debut.
I saw that, man.
Yeah. You know, Nas is going to be back soon enough. We got Kid Marvelous, Justin Montalvo coming up on Bellator. Got Aviv Ghazali coming up on Bellator soon. So, you know, first I'm going to come back and I'm going to get a nice pizza, you know, a big grandma's pie from Sinelli's.
There you go.
Beautiful.
And a couple egg sandwiches, you know, every morning, probably two bacon, egg, and cheeses every morning.
Double meat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you know, get back to training, get back to helping out my team, and I'm trying to stay busy this year. You know, at least 3 fights. So you know, 4 fights would be sweet too, but you know, try not to get back to the cream roller. I think I'm going to try to stay the SteamRolla.
There you go.
Stay the SteamRolla. So maybe a short notice opportunity comes. I think that's how you get like those 4 fights, because they're in the contract. They say they have to offer 3 fights a year, but you know, to get those 4 fights, you got to stay ready and you got to take those short notice fights. So, but you know, it all starts next weekend. I got to get this big win next weekend, and then we get back, and then we get back to training and stay busy.
Absolutely, man. And I was going to ask you about that too, I guess because it feels like, you know, at least at the time that like I've been around the gym and stuff, like, you know, lately you've kind of taken on more of that like coach and training guys role at the gym. So I guess like what has that been like for you to just kind of because you know, I guess at this point, like, yeah, you know, you're one of the biggest names in that gym. Like you're one of the most accomplished fighters on the team, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you say that, but like sometimes I look around and I'm like, damn, like I'm kind of like the oldest guy out in here, like out of the fighters at least. And I love it, man. And you know, I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and I've got a lot of experience. I've got a lot of knowledge, and you know, everybody at the gym, all the fighters, even all the guys, you know, just training for fun, are cool guys. And if I could help these guys in any way, you know, I'm gonna do that, because I guess that's what life's about, is, you know, learning a craft and then passing it on to the next generation. And you know, I'm gonna continue to do that. So
there you go, man. No, that's awesome. It's definitely awesome to see, like, because I feel like you see that with a lot of the higher level guys at you know, not just at Serra-Longo, but at a lot of gyms, you know, where
just in fighting.
You kind of achieve that success. You hit like you know, of course, like the pinnacle of the sport would be like a champion, something like that. But you know, if you have a fight in the UFC, you are more accomplished than what 99.9999% of martial artists to ever do it.
Yeah, guess so. And then you can help people out. These young guys. You see a lot of young guys walk in with so much potential, and you want to help them, and then you kind of tell them what I did to get to where I'm at, and then if that could help them in any way, hopefully it does.
For sure. For sure. And how do you kind of think that like regional scene has changed since you were doing the damn thing with Titan FC back in the day?
Yeah, well, I did all my regional scene down in Florida, so it's a little bit different up here in New York. But I mean, again, it's the Ring of Combats are coming back. That's the regional scene here,
Hell yeah.
especially coming out of the Saralongo. We take a trip down to AC, we go to the Tropicana, and we have a good time and watch some up and coming pro fighters, look to chase their dreams, which is a great time. I love it. And you never know who you're going to see at those Ring of Combats too. You're going to see some future stars.
For sure.
So,
some future stars and some legends of the game just walking around all the same.
Oh yeah, it's great. And then even these CFFCs, this Northeast scene, it really seems like it's been Ring of Combats and CFFCs, especially for our and then the Bellators too. I like that Bellator has been putting shows on at Mohegan, and the undercards of the Bellator, they're always trying to take the local pros and put them on the card, and that's always a great opportunity for these young fighters, pro fighters starting their careers, to get a Bellator fight. Such a high promotion and great production, so it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, people have their qualms with Bellator, but at the end of the day, the eyes on that just doesn't compare to your average regional, even like a high level regional. Right, exactly. And yeah, I mean, we've seen guys like you said, Kid showed out in his first fight for Bellator, got invited back in a couple of weeks. Charlie put on a hell of a fight for Bellator, wound up getting a big CFFC fight after that. It's a platform, which you definitely love to see.
Oh yeah.
And it's at a casino, so for the fans, you go, you watch the violence, you hit the blackjack tables after, and you go home a rich man.
Oh man, I got crushed.
Foolproof system.
I got crushed in Atlantic City at that CFFC fight. I lost a whole lot of money at the casino.
Yeah, I had a couple too many round trips to the ATM.
That happens to the best of us.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It does. I had fun. All
that matters. I did also want to ask you. You brought up your brother briefly, the CheeseRolla, Jimmy Frevola. How did I heard a little bloomer actually that Jimmy might be joining us this week to break down the card, give out some bets for 270 this weekend. But how did Jimmy become like the biggest Jake Paul fan that I know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he bought Jake Paul's like NFT and got sent to like a tracksuit.
That tracksuit was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's got like pads on on the legs for like when Jake Paul does like acro yoga.
It has like football pads. Yeah, it had like knee pads and thigh pads and shit. It was reflective. Yeah. It was to be one of the more ridiculously dressed people at a regional fight event, you got to be pretty out there. But I think Jimmy was up there. It was him and the guy in the skeleton costume.
Honestly, that's a prideful trophy right there.
I know, yeah. And
it's looking pretty good. Scene.
It's looking pretty good right now. It's just looking better and better.
Keeps going up.
At first, it was a joke, but now Jake Paul keeps knocking these guys out and keeps talking this fighter pay stuff and saying some good stuff. It's looking better and better.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, not to just bring too much light to Jake Paul, but as a fighter, I mean, obviously as a fan, we take things how we take things, but as a fighter, when you do see him, obviously people say he's not doing it for the right reasons and blah blah blah, this and that. But as a fighter, for you, how do you look at that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like what he's saying. I think he's winning these fights. He's having great knockouts. It looks like he's training hard. He's got the platform, and it's fight promotion. It's an entertainment business, and I'm entertained every time he fights. Every time he promotes, his fight promotion is just fascinating to me. Just kind of seeing how, it's like his new generation he's a YouTuber, how he's kind of promoting these fights, and promoting himself. It's definitely a new age, and he's leading the charge, I guess.
Yeah, the one thing you can't take away from the guy is he knows how to market. He is good at marketing.
Yeah, no doubt.
And yeah, I mean, like you were saying, it's like, even, I tend to agree with Ross. I don't think that he's doing any of this because he like actually cares about any of these issues, but I think he's very smart about how he's using it to market himself. But at the end of the day, I don't really think the intention matters all that much. Like, he's got a huge platform. He's talking about
he's starting the conversation.
Right. Exactly. And I was talking about this with Pumi last week, where I've seen like outlets that do not cover fighting, like you know what I mean? Like normal, like news, like pop culture shit like that. And they cover Jake Paul, and then they cover the fighter pay stuff. So like, that's a whole new audience that doesn't know anything about the sport, but might get interested in it. And also is going to get interested in it from the lens of like, these guys should be paid more money, which is like, that's only a good thing for me at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
It's either no one talks about it and things stay the same, or it could be Jake Paul and it could be some circus act move, but he's bringing it up and people are talking about it. So in the long run, I'm here for it.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I did, but before we let you go, I know that you're a nerd like me and you love Star Wars and superhero shit and all of that. So what have you thought of Book of Boba Fett so far?
Oh man, it's great. Yeah, like,
hell yeah.
I've been loving it. Like that, especially that second episode was the best. Yeah,
awesome.
Like I love like the sand people stories and the flashbacks. Those are my favorite part. But I guess now, I mean, spoiler alert. I guess like that last episode, it said like all the sand people are like dead now, so I don't think we're gonna get any flashbacks.
Yeah, it sounds like those flashbacks are over. But yeah, dude, no, that shit's been fun. It's cool that they can like take all these characters now and like build the stories up and fucking like, I don't know, I feel like we all grew up and we watched those old, like the OG Star Wars trilogy, and it was like, all right, Boba Fett's like the coolest dude ever, but we didn't really get to see him like do shit. And now we get to actually see him just be a fucking badass.
Oh, I love it. And it's got real like Mandalorian vibes. Like I love like the music and like the way they're shooting it and everything. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, dude. They've been crushing these. It's a good time to be a nerd. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd be lying if I said I had any idea of like a second of what you just talked about.
I know we're speaking gibberish to Ross, but I don't care. I don't care. I like to talk about superhero nerd shit with people who like it. But I guess I missed it earlier. I'm just going through my notes here, making sure I hit on all of my points. But I saw Billy Q is getting added to that the new Panini card set this year. So when are we getting a SteamRolla rookie card?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once I finish this guy next weekend, we're getting the card, no doubt.
There you go. When Buffer gets in when Rogan gets in the cage after that dub, you get on the mic. I want a fucking rookie card, Dana.
Right? What I gotta say? I need a Panini card.
Yeah,
give me a Panini.
Hook it up.
I need a Panini.
Dana.
Let me get a Panini. Come on. Oh my god, it's been a long day for me if you guys couldn't tell, but it's all right. we're hanging in there right now.
There you go.
Oh god,
there you go. All right, well, Matt, you have been very generous with your time as always.
Yes, you have.
We very much appreciate you hopping on, brother. Best of luck this week. We will be pulling hard. I'm sure we will be yelling at our TVs like fucking lunatics, and I can't wait to see you back in New York after you come home with the dub.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. You guys are always supporting the team, and it's awesome seeing you, Harry, at the gym, and we're having a good time. We got a great thing going at the gym with the team, and you guys are part of that team now. So
you're the man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
we'll talk afterwards.
Absolutely, dude. I was fucking pissed I couldn't be like in the gym the last couple of weeks shooting shit. We were talking about that CFFC card. I got like super COVID when we were at AC. I don't know what the fuck happened, dude.
You got the super strain.
I guess like what a new variant, like a dingy Atlantic City casino full of like Yeah, like fight fans and their families. I guess that's where a new variant develops. But I was sick as a dog for like 3 weeks, so that ruled. But
you survived though, so you're good.
Exactly. We're going through now. We're fine. But we very much appreciate that, man. It does mean a lot. We're very grateful for all of you guys and just your time and fucking interacting with us and just letting two idiots have some fun covering a sport.
Yeah, and then 2022 Frev Fest, the beach banger, that'll be back too.
That's right.
Good time.
We'll be less blacked out this time. Ross and I got there.
I'm not promising that.
No promises.
Ross and I got there and we looked around and we were just like, man, like we're at a 4th of July party at a UFC fighter's house. The bantamweight champion of the world is right there. Let's rip like 6 straight shots out of a handle of Tito's to really settle ourselves in here.
Yeah, good times.
Absolutely. Dude, I remember I was in like Aljo's live stream that week. Like he was on Instagram or something. And I like made some joke about him and Cheezie playing badminton. And he reads the bookie's basement. He goes, oh, I remember you guys, bro. Like you guys are good dudes. Like, you were really fucked up, but you guys were nice guys. And I was like, that's like the perfect impression that we can leave on somebody.
That's an impression. I think that might be the impression I leave on everyone. Like, yeah, good dude. Really fucked up, but good dude. All right. Good luck next weekend, bro. We appreciate it as always.
Appreciate you, bro.
We'll be back as always. So
later.
Good luck to you, man.
Peace.
All right. Welcome back to the Reverse Mush Podcast. Harry Mack here, as always, with a very special guest today. You're going to hear from the SteamRolla later on about his fight this Saturday, but we had to bring in the man himself for some analysis, the CheeseRolla, Cheezie Frevola. Jimmy, how we doing, brother?
Yo. Thanks for having me on, man. Long overdue, right?
Of course, brother. Happy to have you. Very much appreciated. And you have a little undefeated combat sports record yourself over there.
Hey, man. Some say, man. Rough
That's
around.
Right. Look, it counts. It counts.
Hey, man. I'll tell you what. It more than counts, man. Getting in there, it takes even the guy that I beat, the Bassmaster. You got to give credit to anybody, honestly, who steps into the ring and ready to knock another dude out, right? So
exactly. You got to respect it. Yeah. What was that experience like? You had Maddie and Billy Q in the corner. Fucking, you did the whole walkout, the whole deal.
I mean, honestly, like, being, Matt's my twin brother. So we've been, competing with each other our whole lives, football, basketball, badminton. You've been there, you've seen it. And, it was fighting and stuff. At the time where he started getting into wrestling, I was like more into like basketball and stuff. So I never got to experience like that kind of competition. And, we were thinking of ideas for Maddie's bachelor party. And I saw the Rough and Rowdy Barstool post on Instagram, and half thinking, I just kind of like sent a text to him while I was in the gym. I was like, yo, like, let's get the boys or me or someone on the card and you can like corner and it'll just be like a sick bachelor party for you. And 2 minutes later, he calls me and he's like, yeah, talk to Robbie Barstool. You're in. Camp starts tomorrow.
There you go.
And he put me through a real camp. I had to lose like 2 pounds to make weight. But he just he made me eat healthy, made me go to law. And it was great, man. Just we wanted to give him a little piece of his own medicine, so to speak, because we have to go watch him like fight legit like killers in the UFC, and we just have to sit there outside of the cage and just kind of like,
it's nerve-wracking.
It sucks.
Anytime there's somebody in there that you have like a personal relationship, it is hard to watch your pals or your family get punched in the face. It is not like an enjoyable experience.
So it's funny because you can see like on the if you rewatch that broadcast of the fight, like you can just see Maddie like behind the ring, like his fists are just like clenched, like. So he got to feel how it feels to like just kind of like see a family member or a friend just like be vulnerable without you having nothing to do. So
there you go. Yeah, he told us he put you through a legit ass camp. He was like, yeah, we had all our buddies come over. We put together a little boxing ring out of garbage cans in the yard. And then he was saying he'd have a fresh guy go with you every round.
Yeah, no, all my boys who like just wanted to like, spar and stuff, we'd have them over and just like have fresh rounds against every one of my boys. And it was fun, man. The whole process, everything, it was a great time. But 1-0, and we're done. That's it.
We'll hang
them up undefeated, baby. I mean, listen, like, if someone, if I'm fighting like Aaron Carter for like the battle of the Beta brothers, like I'm down. But other than that, I don't know. We'll see.
There you go.
I got wifey.
Of course. I'm waiting for somebody to do Rough and Rowdy, but for MMA. I feel like that's $1 billion idea that's just like chilling there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like, let's see some street fights. Why not?
Yeah, you might as well, like, you have to wear like regular clothes, like,
right,
or,
like those like Polish promotions, right, that make you fight in like
everybody gets
boots.
like one common object to like use. Like a coffee pot or like
you got like a shovel or like a chair. Why not? Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
All right,
I think we're on to something, bro.
We're gonna put that in the tickler file. But we might as well jump into what we're here to talk about. It's UFC 270. So Maddie's third on the card, the SteamRolla there. Before that, the play that I do like Jasmine Jasdavicius plus 210 against Kay Hansen. So Kay has kind of fought better competition, but Jasmine's 6-1 now. Her only loss was to Elise Reed at CFFC, who is also now in the UFC. Jasmine's 3-0 as a boxer, and the most important thing here for me is Jasmine is 5 inches taller and has 5 inches of reach on her. So for plus 210, I mean, Kay Hansen is not really a world beater by any means. I think I'm very comfortable sprinkling the dog there.
Yeah, I mean, plus anything over, when you're like a plus 200 or more in MMA, that's considerable. Like, that's a big underdog. And Hansen, I like her. She, like you said, competition-wise on paper, she's seen some, tougher competition. But what was her last fight? I think she kind of just squeaked by, right? It was kind of, was it? Or
yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Lee?
One of her fights recently, it was like very close. I think it was a split decision. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I like dogs, man. I think there's something about like when it's like a fight like that where like you're not sold on someone that's minus 200.
Right.
Like, well, what are you doing?
She's coming off a unanimous decision loss to Corey McKenna.
Oh, there you go. I mean,
yeah. So the form wasn't great. She's going to be significantly smaller in there. At plus 210, I like Jasmine making her UFC debut.
Yeah, especially if she's a boxer. The reach obviously is gonna
exactly. You got 5 inches of reach, and you've boxed as a professional. You have fairly good striking. Like I like her chances there.
Yeah, I'm with you. There.
Yeah. Next fight, simple bet. I promise you, I won't go through every single fight on the card, but I do like this spot a little bit. Vanessa Demopoulos minus 125. Solana Gomez Juarez just hasn't really impressed me yet. She got submitted by Lupi Godinez in the first round, whereas Demopoulos put on a fight of the year candidate at LFA with the same opponent with Lupi Godinez. I think Demopoulos is comfortably the better fighter at plus 125, a coin flip. I'll take that.
Yeah, those two, I'm not too familiar with them, but I mean, you just said they both fought the same opponent, and one of them had a much
exactly. One of us had had a much better showing against their common opponent.
That one good enough for me because I can't touch on that one too much.
Very fair. But all right, that brings us to the people's main event, our main event, the SteamRolla making his return to the cage. So this fight opened basically at a pick'em. It opened around, I think, minus 120 for Matt, and then immediately sharp money came pouring in, pressed that line all the way up to I think 1-2. It got up to minus 200, minus 210. It's sitting around minus 190 now. But I mean, you follow the money in a spot like this on top of everything else. There's a reason that all that money came pouring in on Matt. He has fought significantly better competition for, I know this kid's coming in here. He's 10-0, Gennaro Valdez, game opponent. He's got some fun film, but watching him on film, it doesn't really look like he has ever dealt with anybody with the wrestling pressure that Matt brings or the pressure on the feet. You know what I mean? Just a pure pressure fighter is something he hasn't really dealt with yet. It looked like the defensive wrestling was maybe a little suspect. So I think if you're out there, man, I think the SteamRolla minus 190 is a fantastic parlay piece.
Yeah, me too. What you said earlier, I think he opened at minus. Like I saw like a really early line. I don't know, like if it was that. Like sometimes on Twitter, like I'll search a name like right before a fight and see, and like I think he might have like right out the gate might have even been like a dog at first. Maybe not, but it
was definitely right there.
either way, it went up. And, listen, man, like you said, on paper, Matt, this is what his 7th UFC fight. Like, he's now, like, it's crazy to think he's a vet. Like, he's the vet in the UFC. He's there. He's fought some really good guys. He's had some fucking wars. Obviously the one with Lando comes to mind, and
of course, a terrible draw.
Dude, I was so mad. Like, I'm not
so it's another conversation for another day.
Yeah, for sure. But Valdez, I mean, contender series, right? Like, Patrick White, the dude comes out with no mouthpiece, no cup. I mean, I don't know how you do that in a fight. I mean, he's Alaska FC. We'll just leave it there. But no, I'm just kidding. He actually did. He looked pretty. I mean, it was a great fight. But contender series, he comes out and it was such a sick fight. I watched it. It was so sweet. But like, these guys, he gassed out pretty fast. It wasn't like skill wise the best performance. So I had to keep looking into his fights in the Mexican League with Lux. And he looked a lot better in those fights. I mean, competition probably a little lower, but he's a grappler. Like, you look at that contender series fight, and you don't really see that, although he was trying to do it because it just got into a wild wing fest. But, he wants to move you. He wants to forward pressure, put you against the cage, and just kind of grind you down. And sorry, if you think like that's your bread and butter and you're going to do that against SteamRolla, like, I want some of what you're smoking. But he might be looking at the film. They might be seeing his last fight against McKinney, and maybe he wants to go out there and maybe get him into an exchange and hope to put him out early. I think if, just being the devil's advocate, if you're trying to bet on him as a dog, because he is a plus 190, 200, you're doing it to a finish in the first round, because that's his only path to victory that I see. If it goes past the first round, cardio is all Matt. And I just think even standing up on the ground, I just think Matty's better everywhere. I think Valdez is young in his career, even though he's around the same age. It's his UFC debut. He's going to have to learn some hard lessons. And I'm happy Matty's going to be the one that, teaches him. So
there you go.
So
I watched those Lux fights too. He had a couple of nice finishes from like that top mount position. But again, like in the scrambles where he got those positions, it's just not, it's not the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, you see Matty in that Armin fight, like, Armin.
Right.
He's
exactly.
having scrambles with him off 1 day's notice in a camp for like Azatar, barely any wrestling that camp, like, and he still, fought hard for 15 minutes. So it's I think it's I would say it's more of a test for Valdez against Matty, and it's just more of a test of Matty versus himself. Obviously the last 2 losses have been tough, and he's battled back mentally and physically. He's always in the best shape of his life. His camps are always 100%. And, it's really just about him going out there and just believing in himself, because he's got all the traits. And I think it's time for all this bad luck in the last 2 years to just start turning Matty's way. I mean, not even those last 2 fights, McKinney short notice, Armin short notice, but before that, the whole year got wiped away from him. 4 fights.
Yeah.
The first one against Camacho, pandemic. Second one against I don't know who it was, Roberts or someone. It gets canceled, or maybe twice against Camacho, gets canceled because Billy Q tests positive.
Right.
And the third one is the Abu Dhabi, and then Terrence McKinney. So, it's time things start going his way, and he's a tough dude, and it's time to get on the train for the steamroller, man, because we're climbing the ladder this year, right?
Absolutely, man. It's the year of the steamroller. And it's got to start here, dude. But so like we said, I think, you want to throw the steamroller minus 190 and all those parlays, all those exotics. I think that's a good move. I'm actually tempted by Matt plus 300 by sub. Because I do think that this kid is probably, I think Valdez is going to try and grapple with him, and I don't really think it's going to go very well for him. So I think that's a good play, but I think I'm probably just going to stick with inside the distance plus 220 and just I know Matt's coming to finish. I know that's what he's there to do.
Me too. You know.
Exactly. So why not? Why give me 2-1? Sure.
Yeah. I like flying knee to the dome.
Okay.
I just think
I
it's
also
time.
thought,
He loves using his feet, man. I'm feeling it. His limbs, man. He's using those limbs this fight. It's gonna be a fun one.
that's right. We know the SteamRolla loves the Muay Thai, baby. Art of 8 limbs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But all right, so next fight, I think Tony Gravely should beat this Simon. I don't think it's worth betting. Gravely's a little bit of a favorite. You know,
Yeah,
not too much to say there.
You maybe put him in a parlay with some. That's really all I see because the money. It's not worth. Yeah, I think he's gonna win too. I think that's a mismatch, but this is the fight game, right?
So it goes. And next fight. This one's a little more interesting to me. We have Trevin Giles and Michael Morales. Morales is coming in at 12-0, but he's fought some pretty not good competition. He's like 3 fights removed from fighting guys with like 2 professional fights, guys making their pro debut. And when you're beating up on debuting guys 10 fights into your career, that's not really impressive to me. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So Trevin Giles is going to be a huge step up in competition for him. And I think Giles is going to be the faster guy in the cage. I think his hands are faster. His feet are a little faster. I think at plus 115, you get plus money on Trevin. I think that's worth a sprinkle.
Yeah. I mean, Morales, you're right with everything you said with Morales. Giles, I think I like Giles. I kind of just like his demeanor. I kind of like his
he's game.
Like
he puts out a fun fight.
Exactly, man. I like that. And one thing I will say, and this was kind of goes with that whole group that the Marino, the Morales, they all fought out of Entrom. They all trained together this camp. You got to think those guys are definitely pushing each other. So they're probably going to have the best camp of their lives, all of those guys. So maybe something to think about. But like you said, competition wise, he's just beating guys he's supposed to.
Right.
Definitely a step up for him. So I mean, yeah, I'm with you on that one too.
It just feels like a bit of a misprice to me. I don't necessarily see Morales as the favorite in this fight.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's just more of like a record type thing, right?
Right. It's like on paper, the guy's got the 12-0 record, but then you go and you take a look at it, and it's like, all right, well, seven of these guys had like less than 4 pro fights when you beat them.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, though. But so next we got a bit of an anticipated debut here. Jack Della Maddalena had some problems getting an opponent after Warley Alves fell off. They finally find him somebody. The problem is the guy that they found it's his 5th professional fight. He's 4-0. His opponents have a combined record of 8-4. So Jack is rightfully a minus 350 favorite, one of the bigger favorites on the card. I'm excited to see what he has. I'm excited to see him perform. But you probably couldn't tempt me into touching the dog there. And at minus 350, that's not.
This is probably one of those fights where like you just sit back and you kind of enjoy it.
Hopefully I see something cool.
You enjoy it. You don't bite your nails. You got no action on it, and you hope, and you just want to see a good fight.
Exactly. Like, I just show me something cool. I want something fun to happen. That's really it. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
And the next fight, I guess this is kind of the first big name value fight, as far as I feel like 2 guys both coming in, as kind of known commodities. This was supposed to be Ilya Topuria and Movsar Avaliev, which would have been an awesome fight. I know, dude, man. Would have been such a good fight. But I think Movsar, I don't remember if he got hurt in camp or he got COVID, but had to pull out of the fight. Props to Charles Jourdain for stepping in to fight Ilya Topuria on short notice, because Topuria is
still exciting.
Dog.
Still exciting as
absolutely. And Jourdain's no bum by any means.
No, not at all. And he's riding a little hype from that last fight because, just how fun that he looked. I mean, say what you want. Topuria, obviously, beast. He's a Georgian. We know the deal with them. We know how they come every time. Sure. But I like this. I do kind of I want to almost bet on both of them. I want to put Topuria by himself. And maybe I like to call some because I'm not the hugest bettor. I'll be honest with you, but recently with New York getting legalized,
it's dangerous.
I do a lot of these. I call them the throwaway parlays.
Of course,
bills parlays.
Yeah, a little long shot.
Yeah, the little 15 to win $2K. Just get the little legs going, and I think Jourdain would be a fun fun leg of a parlay if you just want to go like $10 to win, go crazy and kind of root for a guy that,
What's
just
the fucking weird with it?
Yeah, dude, exactly. That's what I'm all about these days. Haven't won one yet, but it only takes one to get all that back, right?
Exactly. Listen, eventually, it'll come. Due time. But I mean, this is, it should be a banger on paper. Ilya's kind of the, the hyped up prospect. He's kind of, especially after, what happened with Giga and Calvin last weekend. And, Merab's already established. I would say Ilya is probably the best prospect out of these Georgian guys coming up right now.
Yeah.
As far as the next generation, kind of those young guys. But minus 550, yeah, that's a hefty price tag. It's probably fair. Jordan's he didn't get a full camp in. He's taking this fight on short notice. So, I'm not going to say that that's the wrong line by any means. I think if you're looking to take Topuria and you don't want to just take a little like fun stab at a big dog in Jourdain, I do think Ilya by sub minus 115 is decent value. Jourdain just recently lost by Darce to Julian Erosa. 5 of Ilya's 11 pro wins come by sub. So at minus 115, I do think it's pretty likely that, because, Jourdain's also, he's going to be, I believe, the bigger, longer guy in there. So, you know what I mean? Ilya's a great wrestler. I think Ilya probably tries to get it to the canvas, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish with a sub.
Yeah. And then, like, you brought up that Giga fight. I mean, that does, looking at this fight now after the Giga fight just happening, it's definitely, I think, going to like sway the lines a little bit. Cause I think there are some, just like that idea of like, okay, well, this is like another prospect, similar, like, Jordan, whatever, the roots and everything. I think some people might not be as confident, but I think Tapir is a beast. I mean, Jourdain's all game, but like we know more than anybody, with Law and Frevola, like, taking short notice fights, man, there's a lot to say for preparing for a full camp for the guy that you're going to fight. And whether you can be the biggest savage and want to take any fight at any time, but at the end of the day, preparing for a guy for 8 weeks, 15 weeks, whatever it might be, like, it's huge. It's huge.
Right. Yeah. So, I think people tend to like not put, people put stock into it, but yes, I definitely think you're right that people don't realize like what a massive undertaking that is. Like, guys, exactly. And if you're in a fight camp for a UFC fight, I mean, you are spending hours on hours drilling positions, situations, like just different looks that these guys show on tape that you think you're going to see. And it's just, I mean, there's less time. It's physically not possible to drill all of those looks the same, to be as prepared as you would like to be going in there. So yeah, I think, I would say I'd be interested to see what the line was if this was like both guys had a full camp for this fight. I feel like it'd probably be closer to Ilya minus like 300. I'm sure he would still be a pretty sizable favorite, but no, I mean, Jourdain coming, and I'm sure he's not coming off the couch. I'm sure he's still in the gym. I'm sure he's still in pretty good shape if he's taking the fight. But yeah, getting in a full training camp makes a world of difference.
And I fell victim to this like last fight night. When Charles Rosa stepped up in that fight, like what, off like less than a week's notice, right? Charles Rosa in that fight.
Yeah. 4 days.
But and I had a throwaway parlay. It was 10 mil, 15 bills to win 2K, and everybody hit except for Charles Rosa. And the first thing I thought I thought, oh man, he's a savage taking this fight short notice. He's gonna win. Like, I should know better than anybody, like how detrimental it is for a fighter to just go in there. So, just be careful.
Yeah. That's and 4 days is like, okay, you might actually be coming off the couch.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, for a guy, for less than a week's notice, I think Rosa, nothing to be ashamed of in that performance at all. That was a game fight, competitive
strong
fight
all the way, man.
Absolutely. And good for him for fucking grabbing a new four fight deal off of that too. Good for him. That's how you got to move.
Hey, yeah, man. Like maybe,
I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So Dana White, if you're listening, man, don't remember those 2 losses my brother has. Short notice, man. They don't count.
That's right. That man saved the Conor McGregor card.
Dude, for real, man.
All right, so we'll keep it moving here. We're chugging right along. You'd love to see it.
Let's
But
go.
Raoni Barcelos and Victor Henry. This should be a fun fight. This on paper should be an awesome fight. I love Barcelos. I feel like Raoni Barcelos is one of those guys who's been kind of an under the radar fan favorite for a long time. Has never really gotten great matchmaking or a push from the promotion or anything like that. But then again, you know, in his last fight, if we're being honest, he was very unimpressive. He fought Timur Valiev. He gassed out hard. He looked great in the first. His striking is so crisp. He's an Aldo guy. You know, they're good pals, but he really did not look very good at all against Valiev, man. And so Victor Henry, the guy making his UFC debut, has fought all over the world, basically. Fought in Japan for a long time, fought on some regional shows here in the States for a bit. So he's a guy who's put in, you know, paid his dues, absolutely. And I don't know, man. I've kind of been talking myself into sprinkling Victor Henry at like plus 350. He's got a win over Kyler Phillips. He's got a win over
his
Anderson.
debut, right?
Yeah, UFC debut.
Okay.
But yeah, like in Japan and on the regional circuit, he beat Anderson Dos Santos. He beat Kyler Phillips. So he's fought, you know, it was earlier in their careers, but he's fought UFC level competition before. And he's got a lot of good wins over in Japan and Ryzen and in Deep. So I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to win the fight, but at plus 350, coming off the performance we just saw from Barcelos, I think I'm willing to take a stab at it. You know, like at 34 years old, your cardio doesn't generally tend to improve between fights. So I think Raoni probably comes out, blitzes in the first round. And if Henry can survive that first onslaught, man, I kind of think there's a path to victory for him here.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's his debut, but he's actually fought, you know, I'm just looking, he's fought some, you know, his competition is still high level.
Absolutely.
Like you said, what's his name? I can't pronounce it. Barcelos. He beat Nurmagomedov, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is, you know, he's like a favorite. He's 5-1 in the UFC. You're like you said, a little disappointing his last time, but it still ended up being like a close fight.
Definitely.
Hopefully, you know, first loss in the UFC, you got to think adversity usually, you know, you come back stronger. So if he's got that kind of mindset, could be a good bounce back for him. But high level fight, fun fight, probably going a little bit under the radar. If he's, I didn't even know about Victor Henry's previous fights before UFC, so I'm excited now.
Yeah, like, you know, a lot of the time, like, look, we talked about that, like that guy debuting earlier against Jack Della Maddalena. Like that guy's, you know, he not to be a dick about it, but you're probably not UFC level at 4-0, and like, you know, not like a Pumi Nakuda 4-0 where you're a regional champion at a high level promotion already. You're kind of a guy still at that point. You know what I mean? Whereas Victor Henry is a dude who has paid his dues in MMA and fought a lot of killers over the years. So I think this should be a really, really fun fight.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Next. Adolfo Vieira and Wellington Thurman. This is a strange fight to me, but I guess the simplest way I can look at it is Wellington Thurman struggled to get Sam Alvey up out of there in his last fight. And that's kind of all I need to know to think that like Adolfo is just going to sub him pretty easily.
Oh man, dude, I will not take any Sam Alvey slander. Come on, man.
Oh, brother, I got plenty of it. I got plenty of Sam Alvey slander. If Sam Alvey didn't try, like, if he wasn't like union busting years ago saying, well, you know, why would I want to be in a union if I could be the next Conor McGregor? I'm really not sure he still has a job after 6 consecutive losses. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know, we got guys like Impa Kasanganay getting cut with a 2-2 UFC record, but somehow Alvey's still sticking around. Like, he knows where the bodies are buried, man.
Yeah, no, that's kind of true. I think his whole shtick, like, of like smiling all the time, like, fuck, man, fucking worked. I don't know.
That's a good bit.
You know, like, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I always like wanted to tune into his fight, like, to just see if he would still be smiling after he got his like ass beat.
He's got the smiley face shaved into the back of his head. Like, it's funny, but the shtick is much better when you're not like losing badly.
No, for sure. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be 2 Brazilians. I mean, this will be a fun fight. I mean, Turman's been ground and pounded a couple times in his career. What's his name? I can't pronounce any
Adolfo.
Thank you, Adolfo. I mean, like you said, I think he can get him to the ground, go for a sub, go for some ground and pound. I think that's probably where you want to go. But I mean, these are two pretty good fighters in the UFC. I think this will be a fun one.
Yeah, no, this should definitely be fun. If nothing else, I feel like we should get like some very fun scrambles, some very fun grappling exchanges. I feel like Adolfo, I know he had another fight in between the Anthony Hernandez fight that he won, but I feel like after that fight, he kind of learned a lesson where he was like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to come out and try and strike with these guys. Like I am a generationally talented grappler. I'm going to stick to that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's mixed martial arts. You want to work on your weaknesses and get better everywhere. But I think, you need to like stay true to yourself and know like what your bread and butter is.
Right.
And, his is grappling.
Yeah, he's got a bread and butter and he's damn good at it for certain. Because I think guys talk about it all the time, but I think there's two very big distinctions between striking cardio and grappling cardio. So I bet Adolfo could go out there and roll for a fucking hour and be totally fine, like ready for the next one after that. But yeah, if you ask that guy to like point kickbox for an hour, he's probably going to be very near death at the end of it.
Absolutely. That's actually a good point. That's something, I didn't really think about. But
yeah, and I think that's
totally
what really hurt him in that
cardio.
Right. I think that's what really hurt him in that Hernandez fight. He tried to strike with him, emptied the gas tank looking for a finish. Fluffy was able to just kind of hang on and weather the storm. And then, Adolfo just had nothing left in the tank. I mean, to see him get submitted was, I don't know if you listened to Ross and I's 2021 Mushy Awards, but that was my submission of the year, man. Like when you consider circumstance, like submitting Adolfo Vieira as Anthony Hernandez is fucking insane. Like that's not a thing that should happen.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But yeah, that should be a fun one. And you can get plus 105 on Adolfo by sub. So I think if you can get that at plus money, that's worth a sprinkle.
All day.
Definitely worth a sprinkle.
Sprinkle.
All right, next one. A man who is well known at Law MMA after a couple of training camps, but Cody Stamann and Saeed Nurmagomedov. So my heart is telling me I should take Cody. My brain is telling me I probably should not do that. So we were talking about how he's familiar at Law. He really struggled with wrestling heavy guys in Aljo and Marab. And obviously Aljo and Marab are better at wrestling than 99.9999% of bantamweights on earth. But it feels a little bit with Cody like the playbook is kind of out, right? You can get him down, you can keep him down, you can fight that way.
Yeah.
And
the
when you're going
is out
against a guy whose last name is Nurmagomedov and grappling has been a bit of an issue for you in the past, I think it's just kind of a really tough stylistic matchup for Cody. So I was not able to talk myself into taking the dog here.
Yeah, what is he? Plus what?
He's plus like 170 right now, I think. Not like a massive favorite.
Yeah, which I think is that's relatively fair.
Yeah,
but
plus 60 plus 165 he's hanging around, which is a fair price.
And he hasn't fought since Marab, right? Or did he fight once?
That's a great question. I feel like there might be another fight in there.
Like I feel like I saw him somewhere, but it might have been Marab, and that's a long
that's quite a layoff. Let's see. 2021. Yeah, no, the last time he fought was Marab.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, there might be like a little bit of he is a wrestler, he's a good wrestler, but maybe there's a little bit of a blueprint out on him,
right.
It doesn't get any easier. He's going up against another tough young, like you said, last name sounds a lot like the GOAT.
Yeah.
So I mean, tough fight. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you go with Cody. I don't even know if it might be. It's just maybe go to distance. What's that?
I don't hate that actually. I don't hate it to go.
Because Cody's tough. Let's give him that.
Absolutely.
How many times has he been finished? Like in a while? Like
I'm trying to remember.
He got knee barred by Aljo knee barred.
Right. Aljo hit that Sumalov on him.
Oh shit.
But yeah, no, I mean, his he lost a decision to Jimmy Rivera. He beat Boom Kelleher in a decision, lost to Marab. And that's another thing. It is kind of his back is against the wall a little bit here. He's lost 2 straight. So it is kind of like you don't see a lot of guys lose 3 straight fights in the UFC and keep their jobs. It's just not. And Cody is, he's a ranked bantamweight. He's very, very, very skilled, but it's just not a thing that you really see.
Yeah, I agree. This is he's definitely got his back against the wall this fight. Probably a position he hasn't been in really for a long time because he's been kind of like a known name for a while.
Right.
Always in the rankings. But it's do or die for him. So maybe this kind of is what he needed to bring out maybe that next level, or just kind of realign to where he was, when he was winning fights. So,
for sure. And he very well might be able to outstrike Saeed if he can keep it on the feet. You know what I mean? Like there is a path to victory for him for sure. It's just
just because you're a good wrestler and you're known for grappling doesn't mean you don't have some good stand up. It's all about matchups. It's all about stylistic. How does it match up? I can see him maybe wanting to stand up a little bit here. Who knows? So
yeah. For sure.
Another good fight.
Minus 250 to go the distance. That's juicy.
Oh, yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah.
You can maybe toss that in a parlay. I do probably see that one. I do probably see that one go in the distance. But that's a tough price. That's a tough price.
Yeah. I don't like those kind of price tags, man.
Right. It's like at that point I can find something better elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. We could dig somewhere else for nice.
I mean, we got nothing but bangers left at this point, man.
Let's go, baby.
So the last fight before we got some gold on the line here, Michel Pereira and Andre Fialho. So I became a fan of Fialho early last year right after James Vick got cut. Vick fought on a new up and coming regional promotion called XMMA.
Yeah.
And dude, Fialho melted him. Like 2+265 favorite. Fialho fucking shit him. Just turned him into a puddle, man. And from that point, I started kind of following him a little bit. And after that fight, he racked up 3 more finishes, fighting like pretty good competition in UAE Warriors. Not like a tiny promotion, not fighting jobbers by any means, fighting like tough fucking Russian dudes, basically. But so he's got 4 straight finishes. He's one of those guys that, I'm glad to see get the call. A guy who's kind of put in the work on the regional circuit.
Deserves it.
He's grinded it out. What can you do more than 4 consecutive finishes, including one in 18 seconds and one over James Vick, who crazily enough at one point challenged for a UFC title.
I mean, bro, I remember when James Vick was I was like, dude, James Vick is pretty damn good. I mean,
he was nice with it for a little bit, but that Gaethje fight just changed his career, man.
And that was I remember, I just felt like his shit talking that fight. It's almost like you could tell he just totally got out of his own, his own, character, because he got so, pissed off at Gaethje.
He was flustered,
Bro, he lost that fight before it even started. You could tell.
Yeah,
man,
dude, for
all
sure.
Downhill from there, man. Poor guy.
For real, man. I mean, it's tough because you never want to point at something and be like, okay, this was where this guy's career changed on a dime. But in this case, that's what happened. You know what I mean? The guy went from that Gaethje fight challenging to a lightweight title to just the chin just went, man, which is tough. It sucks to see, and he retired after that XMMA fight, which is probably for the best after getting knocked out 4 or 5 straight times. So go enjoy it, James Vick. Go do something with his
man
to the face.
Yeah.
But so I mean, Fialho's plus 220, which is interesting to me. That's a fairly tight line with a guy like Michel Pereira, who's he's been in there with Nico Price. He beat the shit out of Muslim Salikov. Michel Pereira is a fun fighter. He has fought some very game opponents.
He beat Chaos Williams, who's
that was
pretty fun. I remember that.
That was an awesome fight.
He's just a lot of fun to watch in there. You could tell
he's a showman.
Loves getting in there. He's a showman. I like a nice showman, but I mean, he wins. He's not like this guy who's a showman, but also kind of looks like an idiot.
Right. He does the cool, flashy shit and then backs it up.
Yeah, and he's got real fundamentals too. When he's not doing some crazy off the cage stuff, he's strong.
Absolutely.
And he's a full package, and I think people are gonna. This is a good fight. This is when you said that he's the one who knocked out James Vick. That brought that memory back. Yeah, this is gonna be a freaking banger, bro.
Yeah, no, talk about a tough fucking UFC debut coming in for facing Michelle Pereira and fucking kissing the hand and slapping you. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm fairly sure that Fiallo is a syndicate guy. I know he trained a lot with like Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland and those guys in the past. So, he's training with really fucking good fighters. It's not like he's the biggest fish in like a small local gym. Like he's training with killers. So I do think this should be a really competitive fight. And yeah, another one of these fights where it's like, yes, like this guy's making his UFC debut, but Fiallo is not, he's not a nobody. He is a UFC level fighter.
Yeah, and Pereira's got to know that, man. If he's training syndicate with those killers and maybe a future serial killer, then like you got to respect him for that. Shout out to
when Sean, I quote tweeted something Sean posted yesterday where he was talking about, he was like, yeah, I want to buy like a wingsuit and like jump off a cliff because I want to feel flying. And I reposted it with like the Wile E. Coyote just slowly dropping off the cliff meme, and he liked it. So it makes me glad to know that Sean reads his replies and his quote tweets, because I have a theory that without social media, Sean would just go feral. He would just become fully feral, like a Neanderthal, basically. I think social media is like the only human interaction he gets outside of an MMA gym.
Yeah, no, he's like one of a kind. Like I don't even know, like, did he just start kind of like getting on social media and stuff? Because I always knew who Sean Strickland was, but I didn't know who he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he is a nut, and I love it. I love it. I love his kind of just like, it's like there's no filter, man. It's like he tweets and then thinks about it.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, I think he is a certified insane person. Like when he talks about how, like, yeah, if I wasn't a UFC fighter, I would probably be in jail for killing somebody. I'm like, you know what, dude? I think I believe you.
Yeah,
but
bro.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those things, because he got kicked off Instagram, and that's when he moved over to Twitter and started posting there.
Okay.
Because rather than be like, oh, I should rethink my posting habits if I'm getting kicked off of social media platforms, he was like, no, I'm just going to go post somewhere else. And I think it's that in combination with, as he gets more prominent and he has bigger fights, I think more people just kind of shine a light on just how insane he is, which I'm sure is totally healthy. I'm sure it's very good and healthy to create a feedback loop where the more insane Sean is and the more ridiculous things he says, the more people talk about him and cover him. I'm sure nothing terrible will happen from that at all.
Oh man, bro. Yeah, he's a riot. I really want to see him keep climbing the rankings, because it's gonna get fun. He reminds me. He's like Jake. He reminds me of Jake Paul, like in a way, because like I want to just see
junkyard Jake Paul.
I just want to be entertained, bro. I want to see these guys with these crazy personalities and all these people that hate and love him at the same time, just like make the world mad. And
him like it's
always good
screaming at Jack Shore in the octagon, like, come on, Jack, God, let's fucking go, Jack. Your head's so fucking strong, Jack. Why won't you go down? Like, that's awesome. That's fun. But yes, I guess we meander a little bit, but that's what we do here, all in good fun.
Yes,
I think if the price on Fiallo was a little higher, I think if it gets above like plus 250, plus 260, I might just throw a dart at it. You know what I mean? Yeah, just take a little stab at it. But if it stays where it is right now, around plus 220, I'll probably just lay off and just hope for a fun fight. Maybe honestly, take the under there. Two guys with a big power. Let's see.
That's a good point.
Under 2.5 rounds, minus 138. I kind of like that.
So do I. I think it should be probably more, like, based off their history. Like you said, he's got like 4 finishes, something like
that's what I'm
early
saying.
In the first round. I
mean, 3 out of 4 finishes in the first round for Fiallo. So he's going to come out fucking swinging.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
I like that one. I'm gonna add that one to the card.
We're noting that.
Yeah, we love it. We love it.
That's going in the throwaway parlay, baby. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, though. Now it's getting time, man. Now it's time for title fights. Fucking first up, co-main event, Moreno Figgy 3. So I saw this is the first trilogy in UFC history where the fights have happened back to back to back, which is interesting to me because I almost feel like I like when guys in a trilogy kind of have a couple fights in between and have that time to kind of improve and patch up holes and whatnot. But, I definitely get running it right back when, the first fight's a draw, second fight, Figgy, Moreno kind of dominated him. Moreno fought a perfect fight against a guy who, up until that point, had been basically unbeatable. Without the point deduction for a nut shot in the first fight, that's a very clearly Figgy's fight. I don't think anybody's going to argue about that's 3 rounds to 2, Figgy. But my thing is, I love Moreno, man. I really love Moreno. He's so wholesome. He's such a little sweetheart. But you're giving me Figgy at plus 150. You're giving me plus money on the Violence Goblin, man. And after
the Violence Goblin,
and after he switches up the camp, he goes over to Cejudo's gym, gets a full training camp in with Henry Cejudo and Eric Albarazin and Mike Moore and all those guys. So I'm inclined to think that he's going to have the weight under control a little better. He looks yoked the fuck up. He looks like he's very much enjoying that Brazilian acai. But I'm going to have to wait until they get on the scales on Friday to really lock it in. Because, Figgy's one of those guys who all right, well, if he doesn't make the weight and he just looks kind of drained and depleted in there like the last fight, then
he looked terrible.
I'm going to rightfully have reservations. But, he gets out there, he comfortably makes the weight. He doesn't need to fucking go back in the locker room, cut more. I think I can talk myself into Figgy at plus money with all those changes in the training camp. I'm willing at plus money. I'm willing to take that chance that Figgy will make the adjustments.
I agree. First off, Moreno, how can you not love that guy? You see him anywhere in real life, and you just want to go talk about Star Wars or something with him.
Yeah,
and you don't even know he'll beat your ass. But his story just in general, getting cut and just working his way back, that's the kind of stories that you just love to hear because there's so this fight game is just so unforgiving.
Absolutely.
That's something that I think his story and stuff like Jan Blachowicz, going 1-3 and then becoming champion, those are the kind of stories that
Glover,
guys that have a couple losses and that. So love Moreno, but dude, before he fought Moreno, I thought he was the best fighter I've seen at this weight division in a long time.
It felt like Figgy was on a run towards Cejudo Mighty Mouse territory.
Exactly.
There, I'm not saying he was there yet, but it felt like we were on the way.
Now the only thing I'll say is that was when he fought Benavidez twice in a row, right? And he put him in retirement. He said, "See ya." But
and Joe was definitely declining at that point, but still incredibly skilled. Still a game opponent.
Yeah, then you go out and you beat Perez pretty quickly with the guillotine, and you're off to the races, man. You're after that fight, I was like, who's gonna beat this guy? Who's gonna beat this guy? And Moreno fights him to a draw, and then he goes out there and he chokes him out. So,
yeah, dude. And after that first fight, I was like I said, without that point deduction, that's not a draw. That's Figgy wins that fight. So, in my mind, I was like, all right, well, not that much time has passed between these two fights. I haven't seen anything from either guy that would indicate to me it will go differently. And lo and behold, it went very differently.
Yeah. It's crazy. So I'm interested to hear the lines for everything because go the distance, not go the distance. One fight, he gets choked out. One fight, it gets to a draw. Let's hear him.
Yeah, dude. So, Moreno hanging around a minus 175 favorite right now. Figgy plus 150, which, again, after that last performance, I totally get it. But it just feels a little wide to me. It feels a little wide for, where the actual skill level for both guys is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, as far as round totals, let's see. They're giving us up to 4.5. If you want to basically take it to not go the distance, so fight not going the distance, minus 152, which I actually think is pretty decent value. I know a lot of people's a lot of people's knock on 125 is you don't see as many finishes as you do with the big boys. But I'm willing to sacrifice that for the technique and the speed that those guys show that 205ers and everybody else just doesn't.
Do you remember Figgy against Benavidez, dude? He was dropping that dude.
Picked him apart.
He's got
I think the thing with Figgy is he's probably a 135er who is just short and forces himself to cut to 125. But as far as power, I don't really know who in that division can hang with him.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and we saw Moreno lock up the sub. But I mean, if you wanna take it under 3.5 is where it basically gets the even money. Under 3.5 minus 110, over 3.5 minus 120. So if you think it ends early, you can get some good value there.
And like you said, training with Henry, I mean, that's no joke. No joke training with someone like that. Like, he might be retired, but he's still going hard. He's a competitor. And did you see his Instagram post kind of like calling out Moreno today?
I saw for Figgy, right?
No, well,
Henry posted about it now.
And it was him and Moreno like looking like at each other like they're facing off, and it was like kind of how Moreno was like his main training partner for a fight.
I heard Figgy talking about that. Something about Moreno betraying Cejudo.
Yeah, and then Moreno like switched over to Benavidez's camp when Henry was fighting him to help him or something. And then like Henry asked for the fight to fight Moreno for like 2 times. Moreno declined it. I don't know. It was an interesting post.
We love a good Henry's Fox in the Henhouse story.
Yeah, come on. I like some beef. But he also in an interview, like Henry, like straight up, obviously he's Team Figgy, but he said he's calling it like Figgy's winning this, and I don't know. I like him as a dog. I do a little bit.
I'm with you, man. It's like, again, if it was a pick'em, I think I would probably take Moreno just going off the last fight. But the higher that number on Figgy gets, man, the harder it gets to say no.
Listen, it's a trilogy. It's 2 fighters who one is a draw, but whatever, and a chokeout. So, if I take the dog there. It's a fist fight with very similar skill wise guys. Like, I'm taking the money.
There you go. Yeah, I think Figgy will be able to make the adjustments. I mean, either way, it's going to be a fucking awesome fight. I almost feel like I'm surprised at how little they've promoted this fight. You know what I mean? I feel like they haven't really promoted Moreno that much as a champion to begin with, which is weird to me because, like we said, he's like so likable, so charismatic, so marketable, and I feel like he just never got that like big push from the promotion that some champions get.
Yeah. I mean, like this is an entertainment business at the end of the day, and like we obviously appreciate that change in personality and kind of like the regular guy demeanor that he has that we all can like
he's really
get behind. But Dana White just wants someone that says, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like that's really all he wants to hear. He wants beef. He wants
he wants someone to come in there and commit a couple crimes, punch an old man in the face, like jump the cage, beat up Dylan Dennis, whatever pay-per-views.
McGregor, if he wants to fight another old guy, I got a guy for him. He goes to my gym.
God, bro! I forgot to ask. I will, for anybody watching on YouTube, I will include the clip in this video here. But Cheezie, man, you got fucking owned. You got owned by an old man,
bro. Not only did I get owned, like little backstory, like he came into the bag, like he just wraps his hands up. I'm like, all right, he's wrapping his hands. He knows what he's doing. Doesn't even need gloves. Just wraps. Goes right up to the bag. He like does a little combo, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then he goes to he has like a portable speaker, presses play, Eye of the Tiger comes on. Like just like ultimate like 73-year-old, just like savage, bro. Gramps got me, bro.
That absolutely rules. He's looking at you thinking, I could tell this young whippersnapper some stories about the boxing, huh?
Yeah, literally. He watched my combo and was like, all right, let me do that like 10 times faster with a couple extra.
Anything you can do.
Head movements. But yeah, funny video, bro. I can't believe I like didn't even realize when I was taking that video how funny it was.
You went back and watched that one back. You're like, oh no.
I was like, oh shit, this might do numbers on Twitter. I mean, it kind of is. It's got like fucking like 14K views right now. People are going crazy over it.
Okay, so, yeah, that's good stuff. You love to see that.
Yeah. Love to see it, brother.
Oh, all right though. So that's the co-main, Moreno Figgy. Last but certainly not least, a heavyweight title main event. I'm not even going to bother calling it a unification because Cyril Gane's mouse is a fucking Mickey Mouse belt. That was a Mickey Mouse title fight. I don't fucking recognize it. Francis Ngannou is the champion. Cyril Gane is the contender. That's all that matters in my eyes. And the fact that Francis, as we speak right now, the line was hanging right around to pick him all week. Francis is plus 125 right now. So the money is coming in on Gane, and the line is moving in that direction, which is fucking insane to me. Insane to me. But I don't know, man. I've waffled so hard on this fight. I've gone back and forth so many times. But I think at the end of the day, the way that I see it, I think in order to win, Gane needs to basically fight 25 minutes of a perfect fight. He basically cannot make a single mistake. Whereas Francis just needs the one. He just needs the right hand to go burr once. That's all he needs. And so it's tough. I think if you like Gane, I think your best bet is to probably take him by decision. I think it's sitting there like plus 280 right now. If you like Francis, take him by KO plus 160. But I think Gane's path to victory is basically going to be point kickboxing from the outside, in, out, little combos, quick, not really throwing a ton of power, not hanging out in the pocket and really getting into exchanges with Francis. And he has the skill to do it. I do think he legitimately has the technical ability and the skill to do that, to get in, out real quick, just, lightning quick little kickboxing and Muay Thai combos. And I think that's how he wins, is just kind of weathering the storm, letting Francis kind of gas out once he gets to the second, third round. That's Gane's path to victory to me. But again, Francis just needs one.
Good points. I mean, like looking at Gane, like he's so technical. He's obviously coming from the kickboxing. Like he's got great combos. He's a smart, high IQ fighter, which going up against a guy like Francis, you have to be, right? You have to be conscious of what that, like you said, that one hand, that one punch can do. But I think, obviously if people are playing a lot into like the sparring footage and stuff, like,
that's nonsense. Yeah.
Like you realize like Ngannou can't throw that one punch that we're talking about in sparring. Like, so
right.
You can't look at that stuff.
Francis would be thrown under the jail if he sparred at full go.
Oh yeah. 100%. But, you do look at, Gane, I mean, he's got, or I don't know, is that how you pronounce it right? Because I know some people like Gane,
Gane, he's French.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever.
Whatever, dude. He's got some really good wins, though. He has racked up wins. Poser, DeSantos, Volkov,
he stopped Derek Lewis. Favorites. Oh, dude, Volkov is awesome. I mean, Volkov is a better win than Derek Lewis. Volkov won.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, I love Derek Lewis for what he is, but
Volkov won 24 minutes of that fight.
Oh my God. When Derek Lewis gets to that certain level of skill, it's like
there's a ceiling.
It doesn't bode well for him usually. But I mean, people just with Francis just need to stop. I know we've said it over and over again. One punch, but like he's not even that. Like he literally beat Stipe. He went a whole round with Stipe. Looked great. He took it. He stuffed his takedowns. Like he's become a very full fighter, and everybody's so fixated on him being this knockout artist that they kind of like it goes underappreciated, like how well-rounded he actually is.
Definitely.
So like, I like him as a dog. I like, you're giving me plus on Francis Ngannou. Like Gane, like obviously might be this, hot shot fighter now because of his high IQ, and he just beat Derek Lewis up for 3 rounds, or whatever it was. But I'm going with Ngannou here, man. I'm riding that until show me that he can lose.
Right. Yeah. I
show me that,
that. He came back a different guy after the Stipe loss. We obviously, the Derek Lewis fight with Francis was like maybe the worst heavyweight fight in UFC history. Really fucking bad. And Francis was clearly very timid after the Stipe loss, but he worked through that and kind of just took it to the next level, man. I mean, talking about that Stipe fight, when I had Stipe in that fight, I was on Stipe, and because my thought process was I haven't seen anything from Francis yet that tells me that the fight will go differently than it did the first time. But as soon as Francis stuffed that first takedown, man,
exactly,
it was like, oh, it's gonna be a long night. I was like, oh, I'm fucked up.
100%, bro. Like, I'm really impressed with his just his evolution. Isn't it like Ngannou's like what, like 36 maybe, or
he's
something?
Not as young as you would think. Yeah,
and he's still getting better. I really believe that. So like,
Yeah, I mean, the move
me
to go work with Kamaru Usman and Whitman and those guys clearly paid off for him big time.
Oh, 100%. Like, listen, if Ngannou was, the favorite here, I think I might even, because I love Game too. Like, I think they're both really good.
They're
I think
awesome.
it's gonna be a sick fight, but you can't not take Ngannou as a plus anything in this fight. I just think it's too easy. It's too.
Right.
You got to take him here.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Francis at plus money.
Literally, like he's
it's that simple.
And you're giving him plus, like
disrespectful.
Gotta go with him, bro. Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens with his contract situation, man. That shit's fascinating to me because I don't think we've really seen, as prominent of a UFC fighter as Francis complain about pay and complain about being, paid his fair share and having the option to go box if he wants to go box. Like we haven't really seen a guy with the platform that Francis has kind of raise these issues. And
absolutely.
So I'm interested to see what comes of it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, this is good for all the fighters. Someone like this stepping up and saying, this is what I deserve. We put our lives, we put our bodies on the line and all this. And, I respect him for doing it, but I think the UFC is starting to sweat it a little bit. You have, I know Kayla Harrison just pretty much is going back to the PFL. That's a big
sounds
move.
Like that's a done deal.
Dana White's gonna say, "Oh yeah, whatever." Like, yeah, we don't
she
care.
Can take the easy fights over there. Blah blah blah.
But no,
dude. Like fans want to see Kayla Harrison in the UFC. Like I mean, Ross and I were talking about this again on our award show that Kayla Harrison, as far as women's MMA go, outside of the UFC, and there's really only a couple of draws in the UFC. She's the biggest draw by far. Like by 100%. Far. You look at the numbers for those PFL shows and the shows that she is headlining are doing, 30-40% more viewership. So like, I don't think it's up for argument that she's a legitimate draw. And you know what? Like, yes, I would like to see her in the UFC also. I'd like to see her fight the best competition. But you know what? The competition in the UFC isn't really there either, man. 140,
for
145 is barren. Completely barren.
I'll just take the $1 million. Thanks.
Right. It's like, how am I going to fault her for taking? I'm sure they're giving her a bag as show money. I'm sure she's getting a nice purse there. Yeah. And then she has like a pretty easy path to $1 million every year. So it's very difficult to fault that decision. Although, as a fan, you would love to see. I'd love to see her fight Amanda. I've heard rumblings from like some buddies who are closer to Kayla's camp than I am that apparently they're trying to work out a co-promotion deal with PFL where they would be able to do the Cyborg fight in Bellator, which frankly would be like, that's the best of both worlds for Kayla. No, if you can, you can do that Cyborg fight against, other than Amanda, probably the best women's 145er in history, and then also win the PFL $1 million, like, oh, you're chilling.
Yeah, but you got Kayla, like going to the PFL, you got Ngannou talking, and you got this guy called Jake Paul talking shit. And say what you want about him at being just an annoying kid, whatever you want to call him, man. He's putting the pressure on Dana White and with all this, with all these like stupid challenges or whatever, even if they're unrealistic, like he's nonstop putting this into the media. Like he knows what he's doing. I swear I would not be surprised if Jake Paul, like because he's getting so rich, like starts or teams up to do some sort of promotion in MMA, man. I have a feeling. I pin it right now, note it down. I think he's gonna next year he's gonna do something big to try and kind of take away some of these guys because he say what you want. He cares. I think he really does care about fighter pay now that he kind of is a fighter.
That's where you and I differ, I think, because I agree with everything you said. I agree that I think it's nothing but good that he's talking about things. I mean, we were talking about it with Matt.
Think it's all for clout?
That's my thing. I don't think he actually gives a fuck about any of this, which fair. I don't think he gives a shit. I think he sees a very easy opportunity to, poke at Dana, market himself. And again, it's a good thing. Like I said this to Matt, like I have seen normal news and media and pop culture outlets that do not cover MMA at all write about Jake Paul talking about fighter pay and MMA and all of that. And that's going to introduce new people to the sport, and it's going to introduce them through the lens of like, this is a problem that we need to fix. which is a good thing. That's only a good thing. And like, yes, someone with a big platform raising these issues and like making a legitimate stink over it, that's only a good thing. Even if it is self-serving, even if it is just to market himself, which that's my opinion, the end result is the same. So like, I'm not going to complain about it.
Well, yeah, no, you have a point there. I think it could just be like, you know, a double W for him. You know, he gets to promote himself. He gets to kind of like do that, stay relevant. But you know what he did with boxing, like he did make his own promotion to put on these fights. He brought up like fighters, like really good boxers, like the Serrano sisters.
Dude, I saw Amanda Serrano made the most money she ever made. Yeah,
that's like say what you want.
That's walking the walk.
Whether he did that to kind of like be that guy to like, you know, to get celebrated. Maybe it was selfish of him to do it, but he still did it. That girl still appreciates him for that, and I think he did that to kind of like get a little bit of the boxing world on his side. And I think he's going to try to do that same exact thing. He's going to take some big fighter or some prospect or something. And I think he's going to try to do what he did with Serrano's sister with him. So we'll see.
I can see it, man. I mean, look, we got Habib's got this new promotion now starting up at the end of the month. Like there's opportunities, you know what I mean? I think Masvidal just got involved with like Icon down in Mexico. So like these guys are seeing that like, they have the name value. They can promote themselves. And like, you know what, maybe that is the next evolution of the sport. Like I think McGregor has one fight left on his deal. I absolutely think Conor starts his own MMA promotion after that fight. Like, I don't think he has any interest in, you know, he doesn't need to. What is Conor McGregor really gaining from the UFC at this point?
Yeah, not much, man. But yeah.
No, but damn, man. I mean, what a card. I am fucking excited. It sounds like
tomorrow morning, baby.
Let's go
early. I'll be in Anaheim by 1. I'll be at the Fighter Hotel around 3 to meet up with Billy Q and the Bulldozer and the SteamRolla. See how he's doing. To see it.
What's up?
I'm excited, man.
The plan for the rest of fight week up until Saturday?
Fight week, I think tomorrow he's got you know, he's gonna go to the gym. He's gonna go to the pool, start really sweating out the rest of the last couple pounds to get down to 155 like a true professional.
That's right.
I think we got a little team dinner on a Friday after weigh-ins, so we're gonna get some good food back in the stomach, get him right back to the steamroller from the lean roll. And then, you know, on Saturday, I definitely plan on finding a nice little brunch spot. I think his fight's going to be nice and early. So
always a plus.
You know, it's going to be a good time. A lot of team rollers coming through for this fight again, like always. So you'll hear the chants. Team Steam got some new merch I'm going to be rocking. So
there you go, dude. We need those jumpsuits still. The people need those jumpsuits.
I'm bringing a jumpsuit. I got Wooter Apparel on Instagram. They're always commenting on Maddie's page and stuff. So once he gets this dub, we're gonna try to get him a website going with some merch and really start to brand him a little bit on his rise. He's gonna go on a streak here, and we're gonna have some fun.
There you go. And you know the Bookie's Basement is always happy to help out however we can in that regard. But
you already know, bro.
Cheezie, I very much appreciate you coming on, man. Awesome card coming up this weekend. Where can the people find you on Twitter, on Instagram, all that good stuff?
Twitter, I'm at Cheezie McFresh1. Instagram, I believe I don't even know my Instagram name, but look on Maddie's, you'll find me.
Simple enough.
I think I'm JFrev42.
There you go.
Or Cheezie something.
There you go. All right. Well, Cheezie, thank you very much for joining us, brother.
Harry, thanks for having me on, man.
Of course, and we'll absolutely have to link up after the fight. You know, one day we're gonna get some rounds in at Law. We'll see how that goes.
Let's go, yo! I'm down, man.